What's up, guys? Welcome back to another great training. I am Justin Colby, the founder of the Science of Flipping podcast, as well as the Science of Flipping Academy. And the question that I've received a lot of recently is, when is the right time to scale or to hire or to grow or to leverage yourself out of the business? And for many of you, you might be watching this thinking, man, I'm just trying to launch my business. But you still want to pay attention, because this training is really crucial for those launching their business, growing their business, or scaling their business, because there are a lot of different ways that you can leverage, hire, grow, and scale without having to spend a ton of money or have a ton of employees on salary, etc. Now, what I would tell you is, depending upon where you are, let's start with the person launching their business and where you can leverage, hire, and grow, even though you are simply launching your business. Many of you guys are watching these trainings and understand I really firmly believe in marketing. And one of the first things that I would make sure someone is doing, even in the launch phase of their business, is taking the monotony out of their life, the stuff that really isn't driving revenue, right? So I'm going to use the term revenue generating activities, right? And if it's not doing that, that is potentially where you can hire a virtual assistant to do that. Now, again, it doesn't matter if you're just starting this business. Leveraging a virtual assistant to scrub a list of duplicates is a wise idea, especially if you're paying that virtual assistant $4 or $5 or $6 an hour. It might only take 3 hours for them, but it would have taken you 30 to scrub a massive list for duplicates, right? And that's just an example, right? My point being is, the mundane things that take a ton of time. Maybe you have multiple lists that you have to compare together to remove duplicates. Maybe you're trying to remove people who, take me off your list. Some of these activities, even in launch mode, I would really encourage you to look towards a virtual assistant to be able to handle for you. And again, those are just a couple, list examples. There are plenty of examples, but I know for those that are actually growing their business, this is where it starts to get a little tricky. What I would caution you is this first: do not hire before you are ready. Many people try to hire way before they're actually ready to hire because they just don't want to do the work. Unfortunately, they're just being lazy. Trust me, ask me how I know. Yes, I've done this myself. And I would actually try to hire someone before I really needed to hire someone, because I just didn't want to have to do that part of the business anymore, right? Now, that usually comes with a cost. Not just the cost of the actual person I'm hiring and their hourly or salary rate, plus commissions or bonuses, depending upon who I'm talking to, but it also comes at a cost of that they don't care as much. Maybe they're lazy with their work. They're not going to do it as well as I'm going to do it. Maybe they let a ball fall through the crack and that was a deal that we didn't follow up with enough, or what have you, right? And so there's a huge cost beyond just the actual hourly or salary that you're paying the person. There's a cost of it, possibly that activity not being done correctly or long enough or thorough enough, right? Because you're going to do it way better. And so a lot of that comes with laziness. So the first question I would pose to you, if you are looking to hire, if you are looking to scale, is why are you doing it? Can you hold on to it? And what other activities are you going to do instead that is going to help generate revenue? I ask that because the activities the business owner should be focusing on should always be generating revenue. Now, again, reverting back to those that are launching, you don't have a lot of those options. You have to do everything. You have to be the chef. You have to be the cleaner. You have to be the business owner. You have to be the accountant. You are everything. That's just part of becoming an entrepreneur. For those that are beyond that to some level, you want to ask yourself, are you outsourcing out of laziness? And is that a revenue generating activity? So most people try to hire a salesperson first. I actually believe that is the very last thing you should be hiring out. The reason being is that's where all your money is made. I think you've heard this before, but if you haven't, you've been under a rock. You make your money on the buy, right? And if you make the money on the buy, you want the very best negotiator to do the negotiating. Well, guess who that's going to be more often than not? Me, you, the business owner, right? You're going to tend to be the absolute best person for that job, not someone that you hire out. So again, hiring for the acquisition side of things is likely not a very good decision, and I would honestly hold that to the very last moment until you absolutely can no longer hold that responsibility. In fact, I would probably hold it forever, right? And the reason why I say that is because it quite literally can potentially help you build wealth. Meaning, being in the acquisition role, you could find a property that you know you want to be able to keep it, and so you're going to buy it yourself. You're not going to wholesale it. You're going to put it in a rental portfolio, and it's because you were doing the acquisition, not someone else. Now, don't get me wrong. I myself have an acquisition specialist. He is phenomenal. He's been with me for years. So yes, do I hire someone out 100%? But I also have a business and have multiple businesses that generate revenue that I have to focus on. And so again, I can't give you a year, a time when you should start hiring, but I can tell you this: don't do it incorrectly. Don't do it because you just don't want to work anymore. Do it because your time can be better spent generating revenue. Now, for those that are scaling, here's where the rubber really meets the road. I run a very successful mastermind called the Boardroom Mastermind with one of my best friends and business partners, Kent Clothier. And a lot of times people are trying to scale, but they're forgetting one piece of that puzzle, which is leadership. You know, they're trying to scale so that they can make more money, do more deals, have a bigger top line dollar amount or revenue amount, which is all fine. But if you're not actually a born leader, then you need to be able to practice and you need to be able to work on that muscle. Leadership is what it's all about. If you can be a good leader and create a great culture, you will be able to scale. But in large part, in my opinion, that comes down to you being a good leader and being able to create the culture that believes in the vision that you have painted for them, believes in the mission that you are going for, that is core to your business, and then you will be able to scale, grow, and do more deals and create more opportunity. But until you have that down, most people miss this step. They just start hiring, saying, oh, I'm going to scale, I'm going to be the biggest investor in the West Coast, in the nation, whatever the case may be, but they have lost or have never gained the ability to lead those individuals. And they think because they're scaling and hiring, they get to pull out of their job. And in reality, they have to be more in their job because you actually have to get those individuals to a very high level. So now your responsibility, activities have to be based around the personnel, not the actual work of real estate investing. This is a big thing that a lot of people actually miss a lot, by the way. They stay focused on the real estate part and they stop or don't start working on the people side. And then the biggest, misconception of scaling, in my opinion, the biggest mistake people make is they think they're scaling and growing to remove themselves out of the business. And the most successful people I know, the people that legitimately make millions of dollars, not gross revenue, I'm talking about in their pocket after taxes, are some of the best leaders I have ever met. Several of my very close friends own multiple companies and they spend all day, every day working with their teams. Their teams then take on the activities that need to be done to be in the weeds or in the trenches, but they are still working with those teams to make sure that they are the best that they can be so that that revenue can continue to grow. It's just a different phase. You're not growing and scaling so you can quit and retire. You can do that when you buy, 2,000 rental properties. Quit and retire, be done. But you're scaling, and that new skill set that you need is to benefit people, grow people, manage people, and be a leader to people, not just so you can go kick your feet up. Because I'll promise you this, if you go kick your feet up, I likely would believe your revenue, your income is going to go down. If you like what I'm saying here, if you understand what I'm saying, click the like button. I really appreciate it. And if you haven't yet, subscribe to my YouTube channel. And if you haven't yet done the Science of Flipping Facebook Academy on Facebook, go look up that group and request to join there. I'll tell you, people ask me all the time, when can I start hiring? When can I scale? When can I grow? There is no just time frame. It's making sure the activities you are hiring and outsourcing are activities that are non-revenue generating activities, activities that you aren't good at, activities that because you're not good at, you don't like to do, and make sure that you are not spending a ton of money. A lot of people create way too much operational cost. Their profit margins go way down when they start to grow and scale. I really encourage you to not do that. Utilize virtual assistants. There's a bunch of different companies you can utilize to outsource a lot of these activities. But again, there's no right time. If you're in launch mode and you're just getting started, you can still outsource and have virtual assistants do stuff for your growth mode. The very same thing, you potentially could bring in some other people that are actually going to be in your office. And if you're in scale mode, then obviously you're growing quite a nice operation and you are now in leadership mode, not in doing deals mode. So it always will depend. Hopefully you're focusing on the right thing. I hope this found you well. I hope this found you healthy. Much love, and I will see you guys on the next training. Peace.